1. The power of vulnerability. Imagine meeting someone who is willing to be completely open and honest with you. They don't hide anything and they don't pretend to be someone they're not. How would that make you feel? Vulnerability can be scary, but it also creates a space for deeper connections and authentic relationships. The image depicts a scene of two people sitting across from each other in a cozy coffee shop. One of them has tears streaming down their face, while the other listens intently with a gentle hand on their shoulder. In this moment of vulnerability, their relationship has reached a new level of depth and understanding. The warm lighting and soft colors create a sense of safety and comfort, emphasizing the power of vulnerability to create authentic connections. 2. The myths of vulnerability. We're often taught that vulnerability is a weakness, but Brené Brown argues that it's actually a strength. When we're willing to show our imperfections, we create a space for others to do the same. Think about someone you admire. Are they perfect? Probably not. But it's their willingness to be vulnerable that makes them relatable and inspiring. Imagine a superhero who never shows any vulnerability. They're always strong, always in control, and never show any signs of weakness. But is that really inspiring? Is that someone we can relate to? No, it's the superheroes who show their flaws, their struggles, and their vulnerabilities that we truly admire. They teach us that it's okay to be imperfect, that we can still be strong and brave even when we're not invincible. In the same way, when we're willing to be vulnerable with others, we give them permission to do the same and create a space for deeper connections and understanding. 3. Shame and vulnerability. Shame can be a powerful emotion that keeps us from being vulnerable. It tells us that we're not good enough or that we don't deserve love and acceptance. But Brené Brown suggests that facing shame head-on can lead to freedom and relief. By acknowledging and sharing our shame, we can break free from the fear that keeps us from being our authentic selves. Imagine feeling ashamed of a mistake you made and fearing judgment from others. This fear can lead to avoiding vulnerability and hiding behind a facade of perfection. However, by facing the shame and opening up to others, we can find relief and connection. Brené Brown encourages us to let go of the shame and embrace vulnerability as a way to find acceptance and belonging. 4. The importance of self-awareness. Have you ever felt like you were just going through the motions of life? Without self-awareness, it's easy to feel disconnected from our true selves. But by understanding our thoughts, feelings, and motivations, we can make better decisions and create a life that aligns with our values. Take a moment to reflect on what matters most to you. Imagine waking up every morning with a clear sense of purpose and direction. With self-awareness, you can create a roadmap for your life that aligns with your values and brings you closer to your goals. By understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your likes and dislikes, and your core beliefs, you can make intentional choices that lead to a more fulfilling and satisfying life. So take the time to reflect on what truly matters to you, and use that self-awareness to guide you on your journey. 5. The power of empathy. Imagine someone close to you is going through a difficult time. How would you respond? By practicing empathy, we can build stronger, more meaningful relationships. When we truly listen to others and try to understand their perspective, we create a space for connection and compassion. Imagine you're talking to a friend who's going through a tough breakup. They're upset and hurting, and you can feel their pain. You could respond with sympathy and try to cheer them up, but what if you responded with empathy instead? What if you really tried to understand what they're going through and how they're feeling? By doing so, you create a safe and supportive space for them to open up and share their emotions. This is the power of empathy. It helps us connect with others on a deeper level and fosters a sense of community and understanding. 6. Trust and vulnerability. Trust is essential in any relationship. When we're vulnerable with someone and they respond with empathy and understanding, it creates a foundation of trust. Think about a time when you were vulnerable with someone and they responded positively. How did that make you feel? I remember the first time I opened up to my best friend about my struggles with anxiety. I was nervous to share such personal information, but I trusted her and felt like I needed to be honest with someone. When she responded with empathy and support, it was like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. Our relationship became even stronger because of that vulnerability and the trust we had built together. 7. Authenticity and vulnerability. We all have a unique story to tell, but it can be tempting to hide behind a facade. Being true to ourselves is essential for living a meaningful life. By embracing our authentic selves, we create a sense of integrity and alignment. When we're willing to be vulnerable and show our true selves, we give others permission to do the same. Imagine you're in a job interview, trying to present yourself as the perfect candidate for the position. You carefully choose your words, try to avoid any flaws or weaknesses, and essentially present a sanitized version of yourself. But what if you allowed yourself to be vulnerable and authentic instead? You could share your passions, your struggles, and your unique perspective. This vulnerability could create a deeper connection with the interviewer and make you stand out as a more genuine candidate. By embracing your authentic self, you not only create a more meaningful connection, but also open yourself up to more fulfilling opportunities. 8. Connection and vulnerability. Connection is a fundamental human need. By being vulnerable, we create a space for connection with others. When we're willing to show our imperfections and struggles, we create a sense of empathy and understanding. Think about a time when someone was vulnerable with you. Did it deepen your connection with them? Imagine you're at a party and you meet someone new. You engage in small talk and exchange pleasantries, but the conversation never seems to go beyond surface-level topics. Then, someone approaches the group and shares a personal story about a struggle they're going through. Suddenly, the dynamic of the group shifts. People start opening up and sharing their own experiences. By being vulnerable, the initial person created a space for deeper connection and empathy among the group. This example shows the power of vulnerability in creating meaningful connections with others. 9. Belonging and vulnerability. We all want to feel like we belong. By being vulnerable and authentic, we can find a sense of belonging and acceptance. When we're willing to show our true selves, we attract people who accept us for who we are. Think about a time when you felt like you didn't belong. How did that feel? Imagine you're starting a new job and you're feeling anxious about fitting in with your new colleagues. You could try to present a perfect image of yourself, hiding any flaws or weaknesses, in the hopes of being accepted. But in doing so, you might end up feeling isolated and disconnected from your coworkers. Alternatively, you could choose to be vulnerable and authentic, sharing your true self and your unique perspective. This vulnerability could create opportunities for deeper connections and a sense of belonging within the team. By showing your imperfections, you might inspire others to do the same, fostering an environment of authenticity and openness. 10. Daring greatly. Taking risks and being vulnerable is essential to living a fulfilling life. By daring greatly, we create opportunities for growth and discovery. When we're willing to step outside our comfort zone, we open ourselves up to new experiences and possibilities. Think about something you've always wanted to do but have been too afraid to try. Imagine you've always dreamed of starting your own business, but the fear of failure has held you back. You're comfortable in your current job, but you know deep down that you're capable of more. By daring greatly and taking the risk to start your own business, you open yourself up to the possibility of creating a life that aligns with your values and passions. Yes, there's a chance you might fail, but there's also a chance you might succeed beyond your wildest dreams. By embracing vulnerability and taking action towards your dreams, you can create a life that feels fulfilling and authentic to you. 11. The power of boundaries. Boundaries are essential for healthy relationships. By setting clear boundaries, we communicate our needs and values, and create a sense of safety and respect in our relationships. When we're willing to set and enforce boundaries, we create space for authentic connections and deeper intimacy. Imagine a scenario where a friend is always asking to borrow money, but never pays it back. Without setting clear boundaries, the friend may continue to take advantage of the situation. By communicating your needs and expectations around money, such as setting a deadline for repayment or saying no to future borrowing, you establish a clear boundary. This allows for a more honest and respectful relationship, where trust and understanding can thrive. 12. Vulnerability and leadership. Leadership requires vulnerability. By being willing to show our imperfections and ask for help, we create a sense of trust and connection with our team. When we lead with vulnerability, we inspire others to do the same, and create a culture of authenticity and growth. As a manager, I used to think that showing vulnerability would undermine my authority and make my team lose confidence in me. However, I soon realized that by admitting my mistakes and weaknesses, I created a more open and collaborative work environment. When I shared my own struggles and asked for feedback, it encouraged my team to do the same, and we were able to work together to find solutions and improve our performance. By leading with vulnerability, I gained the trust and respect of my team and created a culture of openness and growth. 13. Shame resilience. Shame is a universal human experience, but we don't have to let it define us. By practicing shame resilience, we can learn to recognize and challenge the messages of shame in our lives. When we can separate our sense of self-worth from our mistakes and imperfections, we create a sense of freedom and empowerment. An example of practicing shame resilience could be a person who has been fired from their job. Instead of allowing shame to take over and define their worth as a person, they can recognize that getting fired doesn't mean they're a failure or unworthy. They can practice self-compassion and remind themselves that everyone makes mistakes, and use this experience as an opportunity to learn and grow. By facing the shame head-on and challenging the negative self-talk, they can build resilience and come out stronger on the other side. 14. The power of self-compassion. Self-compassion is the key to resilience and well-being. By treating ourselves with kindness and understanding, we create a sense of emotional safety and security. When we can be gentle with ourselves in the face of challenges and setbacks, we create a sense of inner strength and resilience. An example of the power of self-compassion can be seen in a person who is going through a difficult time, such as losing their job or going through a breakup. Instead of beating themselves up or blaming themselves, they practice self-compassion by acknowledging their feelings, being kind to themselves, and reminding themselves that they are not alone in their struggles. By doing so, they create a sense of emotional support and resilience, which helps them navigate the challenges they are facing with greater ease and confidence. 15. The role of creativity. Creativity is essential for living a fulfilling life. By embracing our creativity, we create opportunities for self-expression and growth. When we allow ourselves to be playful and curious, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and experiences. An example for this sentence could be someone who always wanted to try painting but never felt confident enough to do so. By taking a painting class and exploring their creativity, they discovered a newfound passion and sense of fulfillment. They may have even found that their creativity extended beyond painting and into other areas of their life, such as problem-solving and innovation in their career or personal relationships. 16. The importance of play. Play is not just for children. By incorporating play into our lives, we create a sense of joy and lightness. When we allow ourselves to be silly and spontaneous, we create opportunities for connection and fun. Play can be a powerful antidote to stress and anxiety, and can help us cultivate a sense of well-being and balance. An example for this sentence could be someone who has been feeling overwhelmed and stressed with their job. They decide to take a break and go play a game of soccer with some friends. During the game, they are able to let go of their worries and enjoy the moment, feeling a sense of release and freedom. This experience of play helps them to return to their work with renewed energy and a more positive outlook.